Imagine a parent driven by just, well, profound love, meticulously documenting every single step of an agonizing journey, a journey to reconnect with their children, navigating this incredibly complex legal system.
Right, and emotionally draining, too.
Totally. All while battling really serious allegations and, striving to prove their worth. That struggle, that's what we're diving into today.
Indeed. We're embarking on a deep dive into the legal case Haskell versus Garcia, focusing specifically on Jeff Haskell's detailed request. It's a request for order concerning child custody and visitation.
And our mission here is to really pull out the key insights, the important nuggets from this huge stack of sources we have.
Yeah, we've got legal filings, personal declarations, treatment reports, drug test summaries, these supervised visitation logs, which are fascinating.
And letters of support, too.
Right, all to help you understand the sheer challenge of family reunification and just the human experience caught up in the legal system.
Okay, so the basics. Petitioner Maria Garcia, respondent Jeff Haskell. It's about their two children, Aidan, born 2008, and Faith, born 2009.
And the core request from Jeff Haskell. He wants an immediate court order for in-person access to Aidan and, importantly, an accelerated plan to get his custodial time back with both kids.
So to really get what happened, we need to understand Jeff Haskell's view of the family before all this conflict.
Yeah, he describes it as, a loving, nurturing family. It says he was the primary parent, actually.
Over 50% custody.
Yeah.
And final say on health care.
That's what he states, yeah. And he says that this was even noted in some early supervised visit reports, that kind of foundational relationship.
But then things changed. Quickly.
Very quickly. You have this emergency screening in August 2019, conducted by a Mrs. Gutierrez.
And initially?
Initially, the findings were reportedly positive. She found no emotional or physical abuse, apparently.
Okay.
And the kids themselves supposedly said things like, "My dad has never hit us and doesn't yell." They expressed strong attachment, love for their dad. Mrs. Gutierrez even reportedly told Jeff something like, "The kids are very attached to you and love you very much. Don't worry, they're not going anywhere."
That sounds reassuring. Almost like a green light.
You'd think so, right? But then, literally the next day of that same screening, boom, everything changes.
What happened?
Faith made a serious claim of abuse, alleged her father lifted her shirt, called her fat, hit her.
Oh, wow.
And that allegation, that specific claim, immediately led to court-ordered supervised visits.
Okay, but it's interesting. You noted the record suggests Ms. Gutierrez didn't report him being drunk during that screening.
That's a key point, yeah. No mention of intoxication from her during that crucial screening period, according to the documents we reviewed.
So how does he counter this sudden shift?
Well, this is where those letters of support become really important. They paint a picture of his parenting before the conflict. Professionals, friends, people who knew him.
Like who?
For instance, the children's pediatrician, Dr. Paul Andrade, he wrote in July 2019, so just before that screening, describing Haskell as a good parent with appropriate concern, said he'd known him over 8 years, no reservations about his care.
8 years is a long time. That carries weight.
It does. And then there's Aidan's first grade teacher, Maria Dorganson, another letter from July 2019.
What did she say?
It's incredibly detailed. She talks about Jeff bringing the kids to school, groomed, prepared, coming early to read with them, helping in the classroom, being really involved academically.
Like helping with grades?
Yeah, helped Aidan raise his grades significantly, she said. She called him positive, sensitive to the students' needs, and a good role model. Strong words.
Definitely not casual observations. These are professionals who saw him interacting with the kids regularly.
Exactly. And it wasn't just professionals. A family friend, Carrie Steffs, her son is Aidan's best friend.
Okay. So personal perspective.
Right. She gives all these anecdotes, Jeff starting sports activities, encouraging faith in drama, volunteering at school, bringing pumpkins for the fall festival.
Little things that show involvement.
Yeah, even dropping off chicken noodle soup when a friend was sick. And she explicitly states never saw him physically harm his kids or even raise his voice.
So you have this picture of involved, caring dad, and then this sudden, serious allegation.
It's a stark contrast, and that context is crucial for understanding his plea to the court.
Which is basically, let's go back to how things were in July 2019. Restore that custodial time.
Precisely. He emphasizes, children need both parents in their lives, even if it is with separate homes. That's his core message.
Okay, so that sets the stage. Now, let's turn to those really serious allegations about substance use. That became a huge focus, right?
Yeah, absolutely central. And how Jeff Haskell addressed them.
Well, it's quite something.
What do you mean?
I mean, the sheer volume of documented compliance he undertook, it shows this a really remarkable commitment to reunification, to meeting the court's demands head on.
It wasn't just saying I stopped, it was proving it.
Exactly, proving it consistently over a long period. The records detail 3 successful treatment programs he completed, back to back almost. Okay, walk us through that.
First, a 90-day outpatient program, Family and Children's Services. Finished November 2019. Diagnosed there with mild alcohol substance use disorder. Importantly, his last drink was noted as July 13th, 2019, and he even voluntarily wore an ankle bracelet monitor.
Okay, proactive steps. What was next?
Another 90-day outpatient program, this time through Santa Clara County Youth Treatment Services, completed June 2020.
And anything notable from that one?
Yes, actually. A psychologist involved determined his anxiety wasn't primarily from substance use, but actually stemmed from the lack of access to his kids.
That's interesting. The separation itself causing the distress.
Right. Then he did a 90-day in-house rehabilitation program at Health Rate 360, finished January 2021, developed coping mechanisms there.
So outpatient, then inpatient. A significant commitment of time and effort.
Absolutely. And his therapists there, Dr. Padilla and Dr. Sanchez, they noted that parental separation anxiety is, well, normal in these situations.
And beyond the programs, what about testing? That's usually key.
Extremely key. And the numbers are pretty stark. Over 98 random ETG drug tests.
ETG, that's the one that detects alcohol for a few days.
Exactly, highly sensitive. These tests spanned from August 2019 to July 2021, almost 2 years.
And the results?
All negative. Every single one.
Wow. Okay, 98 tests, all clean.
Plus, active participation in recovery, attended over 120 AA classes, completed 9 of the 12 steps.
They seem to have ticked every box.
And then some. He also did 3 extra courses: conflict resolution, alcohol awareness, and parent education and family stabilization. 4 hours each.
Just trying to cover all bases, it sounds like.
It looks that way. And interestingly, there's a note that even the minors' counsel, B.J. Fadum,
The lawyer for the children.
yes, Fadum reportedly agreed in open court back in August 2020 that the abuse claims against Jeff were unfounded.
Unfounded. In open court.
That's what the filing states, with Fadum's only remaining concern at that point apparently being the father's drinking.
So, if the abuse claims were seen as unfounded by the kid's own lawyer, and he's showing this massive compliance on the drinking issue, you'd think things would start moving, right?
Logically, yes.
Yeah.
But this is where those supervised visitation logs become so crucial. They show the reality on the ground was, well, much more complicated.
Right. This is where it gets really interesting, isn't it? These supervised visit logs. They're like a window into the raw emotion, the dynamics of this family trying to reconnect.
They really are a rare glimpse. And it wasn't smooth sailing even getting them started.
How so?
Well, the court ordered them, but the documents show there was an initial 2-month delay. August to October 2019. Nothing happened.
Why the delay?
According to Barbara Bagby, one of the supervisors involved, it was down to communication issues. She reportedly emailed the mother's counsel multiple times, no response.
So the visits weren't happening because of logistics or communication?
Apparently, Bagby eventually had to threaten to write a letter to the judge just to get the visit started.
Okay, so finally they begin in October 2019. What were those early visits like?
Initially quite positive, according to Bagby's notes. She observed the children were very attached and had a loving relationship with their father.
That sounds promising.
Yeah, the logs from November 2019 showed Jeff trying hard, playful stuff, scavenger hunts. He created tears of joy, asked about their schoolwork.
Connecting.
Trying to, yeah. And Faith, specifically, often seemed willing to extend the visits, wanted more time.
But I sense a but coming.
Yes. A shift started to emerge. You see it in the children's own words, recorded by the monitors.
Like Aidan.
Like Aidan, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He started expressing discomfort. On October 19, 2019, he told the monitor, Rigo Cervantes, about his dad making comments.
What sort of comments?
Like asking if he wanted to play badminton at 2 a.m. Aidan said it felt kind of like he was saying, you're going to live with me soon, and that made him very uncomfortable.
So maybe reading into things, feeling pressured?
Possibly. Kids in these situations are often hyper-aware, right? Then later, November 16th, Aidan just refused to visit. Flat out.
Why?
He said his dad was always following him everywhere and next to him, and it doesn't make him feel comfortable.
That's tough. What about Faith? She seemed more willing earlier.
She did, but then her reluctance became very specific. On October 26, she refused a visit.
Her reason.
She told the monitor she remembered some stuff he did to me today and I can't forgive him.
Stuff he did today during the visit.
No, apparently it referred back to an incident a few days earlier, October 22nd. The monitor's note clarifies. Dad told her to put it back when she took a mini pie before finishing her dinner.
A mini pie incident led to refusing a visit and talk of forgiveness.
That's what the log states. It sounds minor to us, maybe, but it highlights just how sensitive things were, how a small interaction could trigger a big reaction for her in that context.
And did this affect Aidan too?
It seemed to. On October 29, Aidan also refused to go, and his reason was, Faith is not going, and I don't feel comfortable being without her.
Wow, so they're leaning on each other, a ripple effect.
Definitely. And throughout all this, the logs show Jeff consistently trying to engage them, expressing sadness, confusion at their reluctance.
What was his reaction like during the visits?
He'd try to reassure them, and the monitor saying things like, I don't shame the kids, or I don't want to get in trouble. He kept suggesting activities they might like, mini golf, movies, getting smoothies.
Trying to find common ground, keep things light.
Yeah, accommodating their wishes while still, gently pushing for that connection. It just shows how incredibly delicate this whole process is.
It really does. How a parent's efforts, even well-intentioned, can land differently with kids under stress.
And how vital it is for the system, the professionals involved, to understand and adapt to those shifting, complex dynamics. It's not straightforward.
Okay, so that brings us to the professionals. We've seen Jeff's compliance, the kids' mixed reactions. What about the people tasked with actually facilitating this? Their actions seem, well, complicated too.
That's putting it mildly. The documents reveal a really complex, sometimes contradictory landscape of professional actions and inactions.
Let's start with some clarity. Child Protective Services, CPS. They investigated, right?
They did. Based on the mother's allegations in November 2019, their findings: emotional abuse, unfounded; physical abuse allegations, inconclusive.
Unfounded and inconclusive. And what about Aidan's input to CPS?
Crucially, Aidan himself reportedly told the CPS agent he never actually saw his father hit Faith. He only learned about this recently, he said.
Okay. What about other investigations?
There was also an Adult Protective Services, APS, investigation. The mother claimed Jeff hit his own mother.
Seriously, what came of that?
Found to be false and unfounded. So these external agency investigations didn't substantiate the most severe claims.
Yet, despite that, reunification seems to have stalled. Were there issues with other professionals involved?
It appears so. The role of one therapist, Marcia Clark, seems particularly problematic based on these documents. There's an incident described in January 2020, a speakerphone call between Aidan and his dad. Remember, this is after 7 months of no contact at all.
Okay, a potentially crucial reconnection moment.
Right. And during this call, Mrs. Clark reportedly jumps in and accuses Jeff of really bad parenting.
On the call. In front of Aidan?
Apparently so. The notes say it caused Aidan to hyperventilate and sob.
Oh my God, that sounds counterproductive, to say the least.
Massively. And later, Clark apparently told Jeff that Maria, the mother, said Aidan was suicidal.
Suicidal? Was that verified?
According to the documents, Minors Counsel, B.J. Fatum, later determined that was not true. Aidan wasn't suicidal.
So misinformation being passed along. And unprofessional conduct on a call.
It certainly looks that way from the filings. Her interactions continue to be questionable. In February 2020, she apparently told Jeff she didn't really believe Faith's abuse claims,
Okay.
but then refused to write a letter to the judge saying so, allegedly stating all kids lie.
All kids lie. That's quite a statement for someone in her position.
Yeah. It is. And there are notes about other comments, like dismissing Aidan's goal of going to a specific high school, Bellarmine, saying he doesn't need to go there, and then talking about her own son going to another school, Midi.
Seems unprofessional, blurring boundaries.
Jeff Haskell's own therapist, Dr. Rafael Padilla, explicitly called Mrs. Clark's behavior unprofessional and inappropriate in his reports. That's a strong condemnation from a fellow professional.
It really is. And what about the kid's lawyer, Fatum and Clark? How are they interacting with the kids?
Well, there's a note that Aidan started refusing to participate in Zoom calls with Clark and Fatum. He'd turn his monitor off.
Okay, resisting the process. Did Fatum, as Minors Counsel, act on that?
Apparently not immediately. The filing claims Fatum failed to notify the court or Jeff about Aidan's refusal for several months.
So the father wouldn't have known his son was disengaging from the process.
Potentially not, which again delays any chance to address the issue.
What about Jeff's therapist, Dr. Padilla? He seemed to have a different view.
A very different view. Dr. Padilla consistently advocated for reunification. We see multiple letters from him: December 2019, February 2020, May 2020, June 2021.
And his message?
Consistent. He repeatedly linked Jeff's psychological distress directly to the lack of contact with his children. He noted Jeff's compliance with therapy, and he expressed growing concern about how long the separation was dragging on.
Did he offer solutions?
Yes. In his June 2021 letter, he strongly offered his own services to help with reunification, and he made a really critical point.
What was that?
He started that if these children had been removed by Child Protective Services, DFCS, a reunification plan would have been implemented immediately.
Implying the family court process was actually slower or less effective in this case.
That's the strong implication. He and other professionals cited believe the longer reunification is delayed, the harder it becomes for the children.
Which seems logical. So you have therapists saying move faster, but then roadblocks.
Exactly. And this includes roadblocks even when judges ordered action.
What do you mean? Judges ordered things that didn't happen.
The filings point to specific instances. Judge Bletcher in February 2021, Judge Zetcher in May and June 2021. They apparently ordered minors' counsel, B.J. Fatum, to arrange access or meetings between Jeff and the kids.
Okay, direct judicial orders.
But the document states these actions did not happen.
Why not? Did Fatum explain?
His reluctance seems clear in some communications. There's a June 2021 email from Fatum cited where he denies that a 30-day review would be fruitful.
Denied a review.
Yes, and warned Jeff that trying to expedite and push them too fast will actually backfire. So caution seemed to be his priority.
Caution over implementing a judge's order for access.
That appears to be the tension,
Yep.
and it's highlighted by another small but telling example.
Go on.
Jeff asked Fatum simply if he could text his children Happy 4th of July.
Just a holiday text? Seems harmless.
Fatum's response was reportedly non-committal, said he'd play it by ear. And then, according to Jeff's filing, Fatum never responded to a follow-up email asking if the text was ever sent.
Wow. Playing it by ear on a holiday greeting after years of this.
It paints a picture, doesn't it? A system where judicial intent, parental efforts, and even basic communication can get bogged down by professional caution or maybe differing priorities.
Okay, so let's try and pull this all together. We've taken this deep dive into one father's really intense efforts to get back into his children's lives. You've heard about this journey marked by, extensive personal commitment, right? All that documented compliance with court orders, treatment programs.
Years of it. Testing, therapy, classes.
Right. And then you overlay the often conflicting actions, the different perspectives of the lawyers, the therapists, the supervisors involved.
And the children's own voices woven through it all. That shift from initial affection, wanting longer visits, to then reluctance, discomfort, stemming from seemingly small things sometimes.
Yeah, the mini pie incident, the 2 a.m. badminton comment. Small things with big impacts in that context.
It shows the complexity.
And it makes you wonder how a system that's supposed to be for the children's well-being can sometimes feel like it's creating more hurdles, more delays.
Especially when one parent, like Haskell here, appears to have done everything asked of him.
So, thinking about all this, the documented compliance, the therapist like Dr. Padilla saying delay is harmful, the judicial orders that apparently weren't followed through on.
It really leaves you with a critical question, doesn't it? For you, our listener, to consider. How do we make sure these systems, the ones designed to protect kids and help families, how do we ensure they don't accidentally become the source of more distress, more separation?
Especially when a parent has jumped through all the hoops put in front of them.
Exactly. What could actually prioritize a child's fundamental right to have a relationship with both parents, even when there's conflict? How do we make sure professional actions truly align with what judges intend and what might actually be best for the family trying to heal?
A lot to think about there. Challenging questions about the system itself.